from Portland, Nick Sutton. Hey, Nick. Now, these aren't necessarily where they're originally from, but where they currently are. So Nick is from Portland. Coming up from Houston is Jacob Reynolds. And last but not least, from Ohio itself, in Cincinnati, we've got Jacob Sewell. Sewell. And for the record,
I get the edge, man.
Jacob on the right, he likes gin and tonic. Jacob in the middle there, he likes vodka tonic. And Nick is a Bloody Mary guy.
All right.
So if anybody's gonna buy him free, that's
Tonic,
good.
vodka tonic, I think it's gin and
All
tonic.
right, and we got the girls from NC-17 back.
Yeah! Get it!
Hello. So I'm Iana.
I'm Andy, and we're Queens of NC-17. We also have China White back there.
Ooh,
Is
damn.
she just
Think
popping
that's
in to see the panel, hang out for a little bit?
These ladies are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Came in just for the show.
Yeah.
And check out their podcast.
Yeah,
Come
horror
say hello.
comedy podcast. Come hang out.
All right.
Okay, so we're just gonna start with the obvious. It's been 20 plus years since you guys have all been together. What was your reaction when you were asked to do this?
I was excited.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of nervous at first, but I was actually originally contacted by Jacob, and he was like, "Hey, I got this guy that wants to do some shit. You want to do it?" And I was like, "Well, fuck yeah! Why wouldn't I want to do it?" So, and then I haven't seen either one of them in so long, and it was nice.
There were some tears.
Yeah,
Have
some
you
man
guys been in
tears.
contact though? You haven't seen each other in 20 years, but have you been in contact? Do you talk to each other?
Here,
Yeah, from time to time.
Yeah. It hasn't been complete radio silence. with
No,
you for years?
no,
Okay,
no.
cool.
I thought he was dead for like 10 years, but
Everybody do
it's
that?
good to see that he's
him and all
alive.
that glue over.
Yeah.
All right, so how did it feel when Harmony Korine asked you to be part of this movie, and were you aware of the success of Kids?
I was, because I grew up skateboarding, so like it was like one of the, I was definitely introduced to Kids by one of my buddies, you know, it was like, you gotta watch this shit, and then, so, yes, and then that's how he found me. I was skateboarding down Belmont Avenue, and asked me to be a skating bunny rabbit, and I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, that's cool, and he took a picture of me and a couple friends, and like, I guess I just so happened to be the one that
Fit the part.
fit the part, I guess.
50 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had
Get
those
the right
already, right?
Head size. Yeah.
I think Chloe made those,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, it was like her own thing. And I wish I had a pair.
We were
I
gonna
guess
ask you
Joe's
if you
got-
stole them, but we're gonna say no then. You didn't
No.
take the ears.
No. Probably would have got sued.
Bummer. How about you guys?
Yeah, how about you guys? How did it feel? Like, what was your thoughts when it came to you?
So I had done a movie previous to this that Harmony had saw and sent me the script, and so that was a little interesting to read at 11. Yeah, it was a little like on my parents' bed going, oh, this is fucking interesting. Anyway, but oh shit, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, so basically just went down and met him and Chloe, and then originally I was supposed to play Bunny Boy,
Wow.
and then when we met, he offered me Solomon, and so that's kind of how I
Yeah.
got involved.
Well, he's not very balanced.
Yeah.
so-
Oh, and I can't skateboard.
Skateboard.
So like seriously, like yeah, it's not good.
It wasn't gonna work.
No.
Part of the role.
No,
Yeah.
it'd have been a totally different film. Anyway,
I was previously on the Sally show, and that show actually contacted me and were like, "Hey, you want to be in the movie?" I mean, yeah, I was fuck yeah. And then when they told me who it was, I had already seen Kids, so I was really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So you said a little bit, you were 11 when you read the script. How old were you when you guys were filming, each of you?
I was 12.
12, wow.
Yeah, like about to go into my freshman year of high school.
At 12?
Yeah, well, like,
You were advanced.
well, no, I was 12, and then I was turning 13. My birthday's in August, so
Okay.
like it was either late school or early school. So like,
That's still young.
yeah. Well, my uncle used to always give me shit. He's like, "Do you have any idea what this is gonna do to you?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know." I was like, some backwards redneck talk about that, and then lo and behold, I guess those things are happening.
How about you guys?
Yeah, I was 12.
You were 12
Yeah.
also, and Nick, you were what, 17?
I was about 16, 17, somewhere in there. A bit older than these two.
So what were your first thoughts when you read the script, and did you guys have any trouble relating to these characters? Because as 12, 11, you know, I mean, that's just 16, that's a lot, that's a lot,
It's
right?
heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah, what were your
definitely
thoughts?
hard to relate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it seems like, for some reason, I know that like, the point of view from Xenia, Ohio, and like people think that it's actually shot there sometimes. But, and then when they find out it's shot in Nashville, they think that Nashvillians are like that, and they're not. Like,
Right.
there is some of those people are real. Like, that's West Nashville for you, but, it was extremely hard to relate to. And I think in the long run, like, I did have lines originally. And I guess they just didn't come out naturally. So I think that's why he ended up wanting to go mute with
Okay.
the bunny rabbit, so.
It plays really well.
It made your character super mysterious.
Yeah.
A little sexy.
Yeah.
That's what he was going for.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
his motivation.
Well, I was also super young, in fairness, like when I saw it. Also 12, like I was the same age, it wasn't that fucking weird. So, how about you guys? Relating to that character, like tell us
I
how
think
that
he
was.
needs another drink.
Yeah, we might be here for a while. I think it was just like, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but like, we did some rehearsals before we shot. I think we were there for like a couple weeks, right? Two weeks or something like that before we actually started shooting.
Yeah.
And then I know Nick and I had met a couple of times because they flew him in before we shot and got to hang out in New York and stuff. But it's just we shot so much shit.
Yeah.
Like, we actually at one point almost the filming was shut down because we shot like 5 times the budget of
Wow.
yeah, because Jean-Yves Escoffier is fucking nuts. But he got in the tub with me with the camera, you know. So like, yeah. So I think like a lot of it just, you're just there. Like, I was in that tub for 16 hours. So like it just becomes real after a while because you're like, fuck it, I'm in a tub, and so you can't do, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if it was relating as much of just being submissed to resign to do whatever the fuck you were told to do. So
Like,
anyway.
fucking worked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you leave a 12-year-old in a tub for 12 hours and then they're just excellent actors. That's the secret recipe.
That's the secret, yeah.
Cool. SAG will be down
He's
with
allergic
that.
to tomatoes. So like,
You're allergic to tomatoes.
so
Yeah.
the whole scene, like, explain that shit.
Yeah, please.
So there was a, that's one of the reasons why I don't watch the film very often, is because like what you guys see, we can see what was behind it. So like when we watch it, we're like, oh yeah, fucking Joe was there with a fucking vomit bucket under the bathtub. And so after every take, I would spit up.
Oh my god.
And so like I don't swallow in that scene. So like the reason that the candy bar that everybody now has, like I've had some people like tell me that like on discussion boards, like it's because of like economic, and I was like, no, it was fucking take 87, and I just didn't feel like fucking doing it again. Yeah, I don't swallow. And so like,
He just
So
wasn't
many
open to
jokes.
picking
He wasn't
another
open
food.
to
So many
changing
jokes.
that
Cooked
out.
Alfredo.
Yeah.
nope, it had to be fucking
It
for
had to
whatever
be
reason.
red
Yeah,
sauce
and then
getting fucked.
it was a SAG film, so I have a fucking hazmat suit that I had to wear because the Screen Actors Guild wouldn't allow us on set. Do you remember this? They wouldn't allow us on set, and so they had to go in and clean out like a dumpster and a half of shit just to get the camera equipment in.
Wow.
And like the crew went on strike for like 2 days because nobody wanted to go in there. And then I had to wear this fucking hazmat suit, and they had to have a Screen Actors Guild representative walk me from the outside into the bathroom and like inspect it before.
Holy
And
shit.
so like I still have it, like all the fucking crew signed it. But
But
yeah,
then they
it was,
left you in the tub for 6
Yeah,
hours.
but
they left me in the tub for 16
That
hours.
was cool. That was definitely.
Yeah.
Oh damn, drinks.
So
There we go.
appreciate it.
Whoa.
Look at
Glad
that.
you guys are here.
Oh yeah, well we appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
Gin and tonic, vodka tonic, Bloody Mary.
Cheers,
If I
man.
do.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Come by.
Absolutely.
But
I think I was a little older.
Yeah.
I was already into drugs. I knew poverty. I think I didn't so much connect with the cat killing thing. You know, I've always loved animals.
That's
I've
actually
been
one of our
animal.
questions. You're not thinking about animals, so how hard was that too?
Well, we didn't actually have to hurt.
Of
any
course.
animals, so,
Yeah, but you're perceived that way, right? Like
You
the
were like, cat
character.
killer!
Yeah.
Like, does that happen?
It's easy enough to go into that role, especially, I don't know, there was something about it that's kind of fun, it's a little villainous, and
Yeah.
so it's fun to play the role.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty easy to relate to the character. Otherwise, I mean, I was familiar with that world,
Yeah.
that life.
Yeah.
Those.
well, that's how I
dirty
learned how
houses.
to puff glue. Him and Harmony.
You gotta have a pro on set.
Yeah.
You make sure to keep that shit authentic.
Yeah.
So Harmony wasn't much older than you guys, right? Like he was just a couple years older.
Like
but
23, I think.
Did that make it hard to trust him? Like to be
Yeah,
like,
like
who
his
is this
vision?
crazy fucking kid asking us to do this stuff?
Especially because it sounds like you guys were in so many places that were just not,
Not
ideal
safe.
conditions.
No.
So you're trusting this
I don't know. I
19-year-old, you
I
know what I
should
mean? It
talk
just
about
seems
it.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
What? Tell
I mean-
us.
Well, me, Harmony, and his little brother, we all went to the same high school.
Oh, cool.
So like, I knew of him, and then so like getting into the situation was easy because like you feel like, I don't know, like
There's already a connection.
yeah, there's like some sort of connection being a borough. So I mean, just the awkwardness, yes, and then he wanted us, like you said, work in like the most extreme conditions. And I would tell my mom that I'm going to another friend's house when I was actually going to another friend's house, lying to my mother, just so he couldn't find me to have me work when I knew it was going to like rain or like be fucking horrible. But they would still find me. Like they would show up at like 6 fucking a.m. and like you just like been smoking weed with your buddies all night, like, and you're like, oh, this is not what I want to fucking do.
Yeah.
We're gonna put you in a bathing suit. And
Yeah,
send you
like,
down the hill.
yeah. And then also bomb this fucking hill on a banana board, and it's fucking dropping rain, like.
Yeah.
No sweat,
No sweat.
right?
You
Yeah,
did it
that's
with,
what-
it was, you honestly
Casual
made it look
split.
easy.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah.
So how about you guys? Those bugs in the house, like all of that.
Do you want to tell that story or you want me to tell it?
Oh, please.
Somebody.
You go ahead.
Yeah, you got this one.
So the girl that we're sitting with, I don't remember her name because I'm awful with that. So if anybody says your name, I apologize for not remembering it. But she lived like 3 houses down and was just like watching us film one day. And Harmony was like, "Hey, you want to be in this next scene?" And the kid, the little boy, that's his house.
Oh, wow.
And so we're in the middle of changing out mags on the camera, and the little kid gets up and goes, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" And it's hot as fuck in the house because we've got all the lights and everything. And he lifts up this photo on the wall, and these cockroaches just go. And Harmony goes, "Oh, fuck," right? Because like we don't have the camera, right? And then fucking Nick and I are sitting on the couch going, "What the fuck?" Anyway, and this girl's like fucking talking about the fucking neighborhood and yeah. Anyway, but so Harmony fucking grabs the kid and he's like, "Can you do that again?" And the kid's like, "Oh yeah." And he goes to grab the next photo, and Harmony goes, "No, wait." You know, they get the fucking camera ready and then they do it. And what I always, again, one of the reasons why it's hard to watch the fucking movie is the amount of cockroaches that come out on screen is 1/5 of the amount that had originally come out. Like it was like like one of the fucking mummy movies, if you remember, like those fucking books that just, you know? Yeah, dude. So,
So like, is this kid living here alone? He has parents?
Oh.
What?
there was one bed. You remember the bedroom, dude? Did you? I don't know.
Which bedroom?
The one that had so much shit in it that you couldn't open the fucking door.
Yeah.
It was so. Yeah, this was gonna be some psychological shit. Anyway,
Is there a shrink in the
is there a
room?
shrink? Yeah, is there any licensed doctors? Anyway,
We'll fake it.
we might need a couple more of these. Anyway, but so the house that we shot the bathtub scene in is also the house that we killed the grandmother in. That's the basement,
Okay.
and it's fucked up that I can see this. Anyway, so I'm gonna use my hands because I can remember where everything fucking was. So you had the living room, you had a kitchen. That's where I got the tape with the.
Yeah.
And there was a bowl of scrambled eggs that was just sitting on the floor for like 4 months. And so like I had to fucking like what if you look like I look really fucking subtly, and it's because it was fucking just there. And Harmony's like, yeah, no, we don't need to move it. And I was like, we should. Anyway, but so
I'm surprised they didn't ask me to take
take
a
a
bite.
bite. Yeah, we'll tell those stories later. Anyway, but there was a room walking down. So you had the living room, you had the kitchen, and then you had like 1 or 2 bedrooms, and then the bathroom was at the very end of the hall. And there was one bedroom that was so piled with just clutter, shit, that you could literally like open the door and the stuff was piled, you know, maybe 6 inches from the ceiling, like
Wow.
full back.
Wow.
And so yeah, it was just. But you
But
just
that was like people were living
living
in
there,
that.
yeah, yeah. And no,
home.
there was like 9 or
Must
10
have been
people in the house.
And they were all just standing on the side like, look at
No,
that!
I think we got them a fucking hotel room.
Did you?
Yeah.
Got him out of
Okay.
there for the wow.
Yeah, for the 3 days that we, or 5
Lived
days
there.
that we lived there.
So it sounds like the conditions were so rough through filming. Did you guys ever get that like Hollywood moment, like during the premiere or anything that was a little bit more glamorous than that?
No, those were the other movies. Anyway.
That's raw. That didn't
That was
happen then.
future shit.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
Well, in Nashville, the premiere was pretty.
was big.
Oh, it was pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
of the cast members that were from Nashville, everybody was there, and then
Oh, that's cool.
over time, of course, you get to know them more. Like the 2 guys that were fighting in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, those are like, both of them are really good friends of mine. I'd hate to admit that, but yeah. So it was like a fucking huge party. Like that's really all it was, and it was a lot of fun. I'm trying to remember the venue that it was at because it's still there. It's a Nashville independent like theater venue. It'll come to me like randomly in 2 days.
Belmont?
Yes.
Oh, the Bell Court.
Belcourt.
It was the
Belcourt,
Belcourt,
that's
yeah.
it.
I lived there. Couldn't even think of it.
Which is like, it was at the time one of the only places, and of course I was underage, but I don't know how I was getting liquor, but. one of the-
Yeah.
It was one of the only places in town that served alcohol while you could watch a movie. And,
Okay.
and then, of course, everybody's there as all fucking crazy. My mom was there and I'm like this amount of sure that she knew I was drinking.
Well, so what
She
were
does now.
your family's
Yes,
like,
she definitely
reactions?
knows now.
Yeah, how did your families react to this movie, both like when you got the script and then when they actually saw it? Like what were
So
they
what the
thinking?
fuck you had been up to for
Yeah.
the last month?
Well, you wanna start?
Yeah, so years later, Robin O'Hara, who was one of the producers, she's since passed, but she was crazy. Anyway, her and my mom did not get along. And so I was probably 19 in New York and went to see her and Scott, and we'll walk into the production office, and we hadn't seen each other for 5 or 6 years. And so she says to me, there's only 2 things that almost shut down production of the film: your mother and the bonding company.
Did your mom take pride in that?
I don't know. I'm sure she does a little bit, but yeah, like when we had the premiere in New York, I took some friends from school or whatever, and one of my buddies was just like, fucking taking photos and just like super fucking stoked. And then I brought this girl who was slightly more conservative, and she never talked to me after that. Anyway, but she got to meet Fiona Apple, but she never talked to me after that. But yeah, our premiere was at the Limelight, so similar to like what you were saying, dude. Like I'm fucking like I used to get into the Limelight at fucking 13,
That's
which is
wild.
not a good thing, but you know they make for good stories.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Tell our grandchildren.
tell our grandchildren if we can remember them.
How about you, Nick?
My mother was really, really excited and really proud and just, you know, telling all her friends and bragging about it. And then she saw it and
That's our parents' same reaction to our podcast.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
Off
That's
limits.
yeah, because I mean we were watching it again and just being like, man, if those were my kids, I don't like as an adult watching that and being like, holy shit, you guys were like, it's a wild fucking movie. I mean, it's really intense. So how did that affect your careers moving forward? Like, did this experience make you want to get more into the film industry, or did you think like, wow, this isn't, you know, it's not for me? Yeah.
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can give as much or as little detail on that as you want.
I mean, yeah and no. I don't think, if it wasn't for this guy right here in front of me, I don't think I would probably have stepped into doing anything ever again.
Wow.
It was tough to deal with, even though I'm reminded of it every week. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But it's taken me all over the place. Like I've traveled all over the United States, which has been good. I like to travel. I like to do that. But if I could do it all over again, I probably still would.
That's good then, right?
Yeah.
You want to go? You want me to? Let's go down the line. All right.
I'll go.
Okay. Switch it up a bit.
Why not? As has been mentioned, I already had really big. I was really into drugs.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. I liked drugs, and then they gave me a lot of money, and I did what any kid of that age with that much
With a lot of
money would
money.
do, and that probably wasn't the best move for my life. Again, I'm not saying I regret it. Not saying I wouldn't do it again, but it probably would have been smarter.
I think so.
I don't know, for my mother to put it away for
Right.
college or something,
Right.
rather than being like, "Here's all the money, see ya."
Good luck.
I sort of went downhill from there, and it took me a while to get back up.
That's fair. I don't think anybody would do it any differently. I mean,
Yeah,
that seems like the
not in
logical
that
path.
condition, right.
Yeah.
Cocaine, hookers, it's all fucking fun.
This is the only thing stopping us is money, isn't it? And time.
And Instagram. Anyway. No, I had been acting since I was 4, so this was just kind of another thing, and I mean it definitely put a different spin on my career.
Sure.
Because before that it had been more like commercials and Disney films, so a little bit more
Different
PG.
flavor.
But yeah, it's I mean, we appreciate you guys coming out. So I mean, like this for us is gratitude, and we are great. Well, is that what gratitude means? And we're grateful for being.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we're grateful that
That
this has
sounds
had
really sincere, Jacob.
that has the. I've been practicing this. Grateful that this has impacted you guys the way it has. Because for us, it's just a weird, fucked up family movie. Anyway.
So speaking of weird fucked up families, we heard a rumor that in the drunk scene, Harmony Korine actually threw his sister through a window at the end of filming. Is that real life?
Maybe got stabbed.
Maybe got stabbed after that.
Was anyone present for that? Did you guys hear anything about that?
I definitely wasn't.
Okay.
I
wouldn't
remember a window. I was there.
Okay.
I remember a window breaking. I don't know if I
A
don't
sister
recall
went
it.
through
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I don't recall that part.
Okay.
I don't. I think Harmony got hurt, but again,
Okay.
I don't know if he got stabbed. It's very vague. I was just on the sidelines being
Right.
quiet for hours. So yeah, but yeah, I don't recall.
Okay.
And
Okay,
why we
cannot
haven't-
confirm
why
nor
haven't we
deny.
discussed this yet? Like,
What's that?
during our whole time, we've been sitting there talking about all this crazy shit. You
the
did
big
not.
elephant in the room.
Yeah, like, well, you know, I'm just like traumatized.
Yeah.
We still have one more, dude.
Yeah,
The
we still
story
got one
was
more
said to go that he got really drunk, the scene was over, everyone was excited the movie was wrapping. Sister came up to give him a hug and he was just so worked up and excited that a window happened, someone thought that it was a lot more violent than it was, and kind of stabbed him about it.
Just a little bit.
Just a little, like he's
Just-
fine.
Little
Like,
step,
just the
the
tip.
tip.
yeah, just the tip.
Just put just the tip in.
Yeah.
It's fine.
A guy who apparently looked like Mr. Clean. Not sure if that's ringing a bell for anybody. That's how
that
the story
does
Not-
ring a
not-
bell,
not
but
for me.
I had no idea that transpired that day.
I know he had a really
We
good
don't know.
relationship with his sister.
Yeah.
Like I know that he
Yes.
really liked her. It's
Yeah.
not like when she would come to set.
Right. Were there any other really wild things that happened behind the scenes that you guys were memorable for you?
No cast party.
No cast party.
There was no cast
Let's
party.
fix that tonight.
Nick and I cuddled a lot. But
Yeah.
Aww.
Actually,
Where was I, man?
Ride your
Skateboarding.
skateboard.
Yeah, I was riding a banana board down the road.
So, Harmony, you were saying earlier about Harmony coming to find you at your friends' houses.
Yeah.
So they had gotten us all townhouses. Do you remember the fucking townhouses in that white building?
Yeah.
It was, so his
On the same
townhouse-
side of town?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
His townhouse or whatever fucking apartment was above mine.
Okay.
And he would wake me up by jumping on the fucking floor to like, yeah, so that was my,
Charming.
Yeah.
Very charming. Blast.
So banging on my friend's doors,
Sure,
jumping
yeah.
on your roof, like,
Yeah.
Wow.
nice.
yeah.
Just
Sounds like a
this
criminal,
weekend.
guys.
Just like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
weekend, yeah. But now it's me.
How about you, Nick? Anything that sticks out to you?
I think one of my favorite memories. I'm pretty sure Jacob was. I'm not sure if both Jacobs were there or not, but we were at Harmony's parents' house. As I recall, it could have been somewhere else, but I recall it being at Harmony's
Let's
parents'
go
house.
with that.
Yeah.
And he comes to me with this idea. It's like this thing that just suddenly popped into his head. Of a scene where I'm gonna be riding my bike and I'll kind of skid off to one side and I'll be wearing like really short Daisy Dukes. And as I
Love
stop,
it.
I remember that.
I'll put my leg up and just one nut will be hanging out. And Pam, who
Did I
I
sit
forget
on
exactly
gum?
what she was, but she took care of the kids. She just looks
A
at
right
Harmony
one?
and was like, Harmony, Nick's underage.
Yeah.
And I breathed a sigh of relief. I didn't have to do this
You're like,
scene.
oh my god, I have to take a nut out.
Yeah, I was really not liking this idea. And when she pulled that out, I was like, thank you for saving me.
Oh, that's too funny.
Cool, right?
Were,
Oh,
yeah. Were there
Gummo
any
too.
parts that you filmed and then you watched the movie and thought, I can't believe that didn't make it in?
yes.
Okay, can you tell us about some
Yes.
of those?
There was the guy who we sell the cats to. We were talking about this the other night, or last night, I guess. The original scene was we come up and his granddaughter is sitting at, because it's a small little, local grocery store, and she's sitting on the stoop, and her and Nick kind of have a little bit of a sarcastic back and forth, and I'm standing there with the fucking bag of cats, and she was like, this chick had like, I don't know if she just did not like us or it was just quick. I mean, she was like 6, was quick-witted, because we're on set. We had been shooting for a while when we shot that scene, so Nick and I had come to know each other, and we'd kind of formed a bond, and and we knew the crew and shit, and so we're standing there just getting ready, and she's just like, do you remember that dude? Like, she's like flinging fucking insults at us,
Get
but it was
out.
like you couldn't come back. You're like, sure enough.
Fuck, she just burned you.
So
Oh my God.
yeah.
Got schooled by a
And then,
6-year-old.
They're vicious, man.
Yeah, she had done her fucking homework. And but that same day, Harmony used to like to bet us that we couldn't do shit. and then give us lots of money.
Very motivating for teenagers.
So like, I don't remember if it was you. He found a can of sheep's brains in the and he.
What do you mean found?
You found a
Well,
can.
yeah.
Just
At
like
the
find
grocery
it.
store?
Well, it was in the grocery store. Yeah.
Okay, in the grocery
Yeah, in the
All
grocery
right,
store.
all right. I was still thinking about the house.
Was
I
it-
know,
did
the
you-
alien.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he paid you money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he paid me $1,000 to stick my finger in a hole, for a minute because he heard fucking rats running around. And then he got really upset.
Did
that
you
the
do
minute-
it?
Oh yes.
Did you get that money?
$1,000
Yeah, because like the fucking cashier lady was right there. No, I made like an extra like $5,000 off the movie just from shit
Bets?
Harmony. Yeah, he had
That's an excellent side hustle.
big jar of cigarette butts that the crew would like throw their and it was this big fucking mason jar, and he was gonna pay me $10,000 to drink it.
I would have fucking killed you.
Yeah, it probably would have,
Yeah.
but I seriously thought about it for a while. Like I carried it around with
At
me.
12.
Where was the advisor at that point?
Yeah.
Oh, she was worried about Nick and his ball, and it was so.
She actually stopped me from eating a raw pork jowl during a bet. Because it would have actually shut down production, and I gotten sick and had to go to the hospital for 2
Fair.
weeks.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get that extra money.
All right, so what bets did you take?
Yeah.
Was that?
What bets did you take?
I took the brain one,
Okay.
as he mentioned. I almost took the pork. I took it, but Pam wouldn't let me do it.
Some people are no fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Buzzkills.
There was a glass of something during the scene where I killed the old lady. There was a glass of something right there that Harmony wanted someone to drink, and I don't remember what it was. It was just disgusting, and I don't think I ever took that bet.
Was this something that just existed in the house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
No.
No, that's a hard pass.
Hey, did
Yeah.
anybody eat the scrambled eggs?
Yeah.
No, I don't know why he didn't think of
Did
that.
Harmony
Yeah.
cry?
He's
No.
still
I'm
picking
so
himself.
surprised.
I am surprised.
Absolutely surprised.
Does he ever call you 20 years later and say,
I got this
I
shit
got-
I want
yeah.
you to stick your finger in.
No.
Maybe not Harmony, but
No. We've gotten other phone calls, but
I'll take it.
every time.
All right, well, so this is one that is just very personal for Andy and I because we both would really like to make out with Chloe Sevigny. So, how was that?
every
Yeah.
day.
ah! Yeah, so do you
Like if I could relive that moment, like at any moment,
You
at
can,
any
dude,
second.
it's on film forever.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that's frustrating.
That's just a tease.
Did you know that was
Cold
that
shower,
always
lot
part
of
of the
cold
script?
showers.
Was that always part of the script? Like, did you know
Yes.
that scene was coming?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
You're just holding out for that day.
yeah, and
The
it was like
Roy
really,
Orbison?
it was weird at first, cause that was at the time, Chloe was Harmony's fiance.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's like, kiss her. And I'm like, you know, like, and he's like, no, I want you to stick your fucking tongue down her throat. And I'm like,
Cuck.
and I'm raised from, come from a southern family, so I'm like, who the fuck would tell you to do that with your goddamn fiance? Like,
You were also
guys
12.
were
Putting
Yes.
fingers
You
in
were
a
also
hole, like,
12.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so it all transpired, and they shot it, like he shot it in like 1,000 different angles and what, you know. And then, of course, at the end, he's like, okay, that's a wrap for now. I'm like, it's all good. Like, I was like, everybody's getting out of the pool. And I'm like, I'm not getting out of the pool.
Same. Yeah. Same.
yeah, it was hot.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
Were you guys trying to slip it? Were you trying to trying to
Whoa.
get scenes with her? Like, were you trying to talk to Harmony on the side and be like, wouldn't it be cool if Solomon made out with Chloe Sevigny?
You know what I think would really take the story there?
It would take it to the next level if I also.
Jacob got a chance. No,
fair.
I don't. This is gonna sound weird after he tells a sex story, but no, like Chloe and I had kind of developed like a brother-sister bond just over because I lived in New York and they lived in New York at the time, so it was
Okay.
easy for us to see each other before production. And so, yeah, I don't know. I'm a very introverted person, and so like it never really crossed my mind Although apparently if I had gotten your fucking role, I could
Yeah, I was gonna say, might have changed things.
You know.
You were this close. If only you learned how to skateboard, dude.
Yeah.
No, I
Life
tried,
could've
it's
been
not good.
totally different.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here today. Anyway, but yeah,
Wow.
I don't know, did you get a makeout session?
Yeah, who'd you make
No.
up
Anybody?
I mean, I had much the same relationship with Chloe. I mean, she was like a big sister. We went everywhere. We hung out together all the time. She was just great company, and
She's a cool lady.
I didn't know her. I mean, I knew she was from Kids, but I didn't know anything about her. But she would take me out. She'd like pick out clothes for me, which like at the time in the 90s, having that particular like older sister dress you is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, super helpful.
I was just like, cool, this is fun.
She also has notoriously good taste.
Fashion, so that's always good.
Well, there was a thrift store near the fucking production office.
Southern
that
Thrift?
We used to,
Yeah.
oh, there you go.
I could
That-
tell
that
because
we
y'all
used to
filmed
go-
around that area.
Yeah, that's where we used to go.
I
You should
knew.
come
Wow.
take us.
It's crazy.
That's where we bought the bike.
I go there.
A
all the
lot,
time.
like I would probably say like 90% of props, so that there was like clothes and shit was
From her.
was
Yeah, yeah,
from
yeah.
Southern.
No, that whole look is her.
Um,
Harmony might take credit, but that was definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So Harmony was, Chloe was my set guardian when my mother wasn't on set. So,
That's
Yeah.
weird.
That-
Then you kissed her,
so
yeah,
that-
then you made
yeah.
out with her
Yeah.
and stuff, so.
It's the South.
yeah,
It's all
Sure.
in the
It's
same-
the South.
yeah,
Real quick.
that's what a guardian is.
Hey, don't
Before
you
we-
wish he was still your set
Yeah.
guardian?
Before we
Sure.
open this up to questions, one more thing. We saw that you have a new movie that you are working on, right? 2019, Salting the Fly.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that for a second before we start
Sure.
asking questions? Tell us about
Sure.
that.
So we actually just wrapped on post. So a buddy of mine, Craig Mooneyham, it's a short film. He and I have been writing together for probably 2 or 3 years, and about this time last year, I guess, we decided that we wanted to do a short together, and so we each wrote 10 or 12 different things, and that's the one. This is gonna, no pun intended, rose to the top. But do you guys know about bringing a fly back to life by putting it in salt? Have you guys ever
No.
heard about that? Okay,
No.
so, yep. All right. So basically, you can drown a fly. This story will lead to another story, but anyway, I'll try to be quick. So you can drown a fly and then put it in a pile of salt and resurrect it, right? And so that's what the title comes from. And then basically, it's the story of 2 brothers, one of them with autism, and kind of their struggle when there's I don't want to give too much away because it's only an 8-minute film. Anyway, but their struggle when there's a family tragedy, and they're doing this ritual as kind of a way to heal and communicate.
It sounds
So
great.
that, yeah, so I know we're submitting to festivals and stuff, and we're hoping to try to do maybe South by Southwest and stuff like that, so.
We'll keep an eye out for
Yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
yeah.
And do you guys have anything you're working on that you want to talk about?
Film or otherwise?
Not
Yeah.
frequently, but I wish Casey didn't get his fucking ass up and leave.
He's getting the toilet right now.
Oh.
Oh,
yes.
Tell everybody right now what we're doing next.
So we did a film. When was that?
That was when I was in high school, so it was 2015.
Yeah, it was called Pink Cloud, and then before that was a short film, similar, little strange as well. That was with some other friends from Atlanta, and that one was called December. But that's really that couple other shit working with some people, but all the other stuff's music related, so it has
Yeah.
not film related. So
Nick?
I've got some writing projects I'm
Awesome.
working on. It'll be a while.
We'll keep an eye out for
Hey,
it.
they're still
We
working.
still need to talk about that one.
Who's got some questions?
What was it like working with Harmony? Was he as guerrilla with his film style on set as he is on a film? I mean, what was it like? Was it comfortable?
No.
no, absolutely awkward all the
Was
time.
he like matter of fact is kind of what I'm trying,
Are you asking like what's his directing style?
Yeah, like how did he talk to you guys? Like how did he get you guys set up for said scene? How was he just as a director? Was he gorilla, or is it just like fuck it, just go?
I think it depended on the scene.
He was very particular though.
Yeah.
Like,
What was
He's got
set
it, yeah.
design?
but he definitely wasn't like pounding on his chest and shit though.
Like, he literally just would set up and just be like, let's go.
Well, I mean, Gummo had a good budget, even though it doesn't look like it does. So, I mean, you know, we had a full crew, we had a full, you know, all that stuff that you would see. You know, we didn't have trailers, we weren't that big, but, yeah, I mean, like you know, and a lot of what...
You did, there was just a lot of cockroaches.
There was.
Rats and shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's
That
right.
would lead into my next question.
Yep.
What was set design like?
What you saw.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
was literally like set design, like what we saw on the screen was what the set was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These were real people's houses,
Yeah,
right?
these
I
were-
mean,
yeah.
like, so
They
no
weren't
sets were
design
built.
You know,
You guys
no.
were going into houses that he just saw as his vision, is that right?
Well, like they
Correct.
would just be shooting in a neighborhood, and then I forgot who did locations, but basically, like they, you know, because those guys will usually always be a week or two ahead of you
Right.
in
Yeah.
the production schedule.
What was that one little park that he would always have us hang out at?
Dragon
Well,
Park?
he's like, no, it wasn't Dragon Park. That's on the other side of town.
Yeah.
It was right down the road from where the pool and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like, and that house
Right.
was, and then also the field where I ran
Oh.
through, like, it was all in the same, like
Little
literally,
fucking
like.
block.
And the
where we also
junkyard was
shot
around the fucking
right,
corner
and
too.
then we
like-
shot the scene with the fucking ditch. That was in that
Yeah.
area. That's
Okay.
like all in
Yeah,
that
all
like.
in it. Man, if I could remember the name of that
Anyway,
street.
but yeah, man, most of it was probably the only scenes that were like set designed were the weightlifting scene.
Yeah.
So that house is not the house from that was supposed to be my house. So they had because there was so much trash in the first house, they had to bring in. That's why there's like, if you look, there's like a toilet bowl in the fucking,
Right.
you know, on the dance floor. So that was one of Harmony's friends' parents' houses, and so like they put up the fucking mirror and the, you know, the Madonna mirror and the dance floor, and then
And
just
spoons.
basically brought and the spoons, and just basically brought in a bunch of shit to mirror the conditions from the first house. But yeah, most of the stuff, I mean, I don't know, I won't speak for you, but I mean, you and I were in most of the fucking same scenes together. So the scene where he does the ha-cha-cha-cha, that's the house from the lifting scene. So that's the upstairs. And then the only other thing that they rigged was Max Perlich when he's watching you fuck his sister. There's no other way to put that, right? Anyway, that door they put on like a weird bungee system, so he could like fucking, cause he stands up and then he stands on the fucking doorknob, so the door comes down and then plays with his nipple. Anyway, I'm remembering a lot of things.
Are you gonna fuck?
Whatever happened? Oh,
Sorry,
the
go
dude
ahead.
that played Jared Wigley.
Oh God.
I don't remember him. He was like a professional fucking actor. Like that dude was like
Jared.
hardcore.
Which one is Jared?
Jared was our competition.
Oh yeah.
Right, right.
And then his one buddy brought the gun to set that one day. That was interesting.
What
Yeah,
the
so they had to
fuck?
shut
Can
down.
you please, yeah, tell us about all
What
of
the
this.
fuck did happen then?
Dude,
Remember
someone
that
brought
day?
a gun
Dude,
to
that
set?
was the kid with the fucking mullet. I forgot about Jesus Christ. Anyway, there's a lot of kids with mullets, but
Yeah, which
Yeah.
one?
but when you and I go to confront Jared for being our competition, and then ultimately,
Okay. So
Remember?
I know him and his brother really well.
okay, is he still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I
He was a fucking
don't
trained
know why it
actor.
was so surprising, but
Well, apparently we all,
I don't know
we all
what they're
died.
up to, but no, yeah, they're. The last time I checked, when I did check, I don't even know when, but I ran into, I think his older brother's one of my like good friends. Like he's in a metal band and all this like Loss. I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but he was in that. I do believe, or no, that might have been my buddy Jay. Fuck, I can't.
Anyway.
It all ties together.
I just
He's
remember.
probably alive now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I remember being on set
Probably alive.
and him
Probably
like
alive.
asking all these, because he was only on set for a couple of days, and so he's asking all these like
He was the one that was in those Polaroids, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was an
yeah,
awkward
those are,
fucking
yeah.
situation. Anyway, but I think the whole thing was an awkward situation. But I
kind of
remember
the
him
tone.
like being on like because we rented out like a church hall, so that was our holding area when we were shooting in that neighborhood you were telling about. Because we had probably 10 different places that we were.
And
shooting
then there was
at.
that church that he
Right.
also.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But like I remember him asking like legitimate acting questions because I had acted beforehand and I was like, dude, I'm not that kind of actor. Like you know way fucking more than I do, so I'm just gonna shut up and listen. But yeah, no,
I just think that he had like theater history.
yes,
I don't
that's
know,
what it
he
was.
wasn't like.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
he was like fucking on it, man.
Yeah.
He-
Theater people like to be known.
They do.
well, but not in a bad way. Like,
Not
he
in a
was
bad-
super
okay.
humble and like no,
Yeah,
it was
he
like
was-
very genuine. Yeah, no, he was.
I hung out with him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He was great. He was a
That's
great
awesome.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking like he's dead. He is a
I know.
great guy.
Yeah. I haven't spoken to him since.
I'm probably gonna leave here and call that guy.
Yeah, we
Somebody else?
Oh.
Well, let him go,
Yeah.
because I've already.
The scene where you were talking about Tummler's brother, who is a woman now, the glue huffing was pretty, looked pretty convincing. Was that real?
Yes. No. Pam wouldn't allow it.
No,
But,
Pam would not allow it.
No, it's caramel syrup, and they put breath mints in it, so it didn't smell bad. But we were basically just hyperventilating in the bag. So yeah,
Similar experience.
similar experience.
Yeah.
But I think I was telling somebody last night the story. So
Wasn't that in that was like in the backyard of that same house, right?
well, yeah, that's the. I mean, dude, that setup was fucking gnarly. Like for them to get us walking through the woods there, that was a tracking shot, and so they had to set up a fucking track. That was like a 6-hour setup. Because I remember you and I just being on set, fucking jerking off and waiting until they.
Like together or just like,
Oh no, each other, right? You sit on your hand on that. But I keep throwing you under the bus. I apologize.
Yes.
But someone had asked the question the other night about that scene, and my eyes are closed as much as they are, not because I'm an amazing actor, because I kept looking into camera.
Oh.
And so we would be in the middle of fucking shooting, and Harmony would go, "God damn it, Jacob, you fucking did it again." And then we'd have to, so we shot that scene for, don't you remember, dude? For a long ass fucking
Yeah.
time. And then John Eves was fucking squatted. He was a crazy fucker. But yeah,
cool
so
as shit, but
he was cool as shit.
yeah.
He would yell at you in French, and you'd go, "All right, dude."
Yeah, like-
Like he'd get fuck. Actually, I've got some crazy Johnny Discovier stories. Anyway, but yeah. So I purposely kept my eyes closed, essentially, so I didn't look in the camera. So I'm glad that it played
well, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
thank you
yeah.
for the.
Sure did.
Yeah.
But that's just frustration. It's not good acting. It's just frustration. Anyway, which is probably
Sometimes
most
they're
of
the same, but-
most of the shit that's on screen.
Anyone else?
Yeah, me. Again, sorry.
No worries.
What was the auditions like? What did it, I mean,
We did an audition.
there was no auditions?
No.
None of us.
How did you find out about the parts?
Did you audition?
I sort of auditioned.
Really?
I'm pretty sure Harmony decided.
Right.
But there's a scene where I'm like hitting my head and saying I hate myself, I want to kill myself, and that was all part of the audition process. And basically, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like Harmony was like, we're gonna get some footage and then we're just gonna make you Tummler. But there was something where he had to go through a process or something for me.
Yeah, I did an audition. I don't think.
Ripping off.
So sorry for a short answer. But
Why do you think the movie's called Gummo?
oh, do you want to say that one?
You got it.
So the movie's named after the fifth Marx brother. So you had Harpo, Zeppo, Groucho, and Gummo. And the only reference, Chico. Oh, there you go. All right, see, dude, that's why we're a team, right? Anyway, The only real reference to the movie, or to Gummo Marks, is a pin on my jacket. So on the jean jacket, there is a Marx Brothers pin with the 5 brothers, and that's the only,
Nice.
to my knowledge, that's the only reference to Gummo Marks. And he was called Gummo Marks. I know too much about this. I should probably shut up. Anyway, because he wore gum sole shoes. So that's the.
Do you have that jacket still?
No, I burned most of it. Anyway, but no, I don't have the jacket. I had it for a while, but I think Chloe took it back.
She tends to do that.
Do you guys have any props from the movie? No.
It was all
I wanted the
invested,
bike.
yeah.
Oh, you had the accordion.
I had my deal for a number of years, but a friend of
Not a
mine stole it
20-year-old
from me.
bowl of spaghetti?
Shit.
It's in the corner in the same house.
All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out. The photo op's gonna take place next door right now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.